Hey guys, we have some very big changes. Some of them might be exciting to you, but the Lottie Files platform has completely overhauled its design. Now that means that there's a new way for you to add animations to your Wix website. So what we're going to do today is just look at this new way. How can you add a website animation that you had before to your website now? And what else has changed in this new platform? Let's jump right in. So one of the interesting things you'll notice right away is that the design of the entire site feels a little bit lighter. Maybe that's a little subjective, but I'm seeing a nicer, lighter design. In fact, I think I prefer this. It goes straight to the point of the benefit of Lottie, and it takes you through some of the companies that are using it and how you can use it in your own project. I love that. That's pretty cool. Now, a lot stays the same. Things have been reorganized, but one of the new things that you'll find is the motion workflow. And that's, to me, one of the most important pieces of this design update, because it actually gives you a bigger picture of why they even changed the design in the first place. You've heard, don't change what's not broken. Well, what they've actually done is upgrade their platform. So the Lottie Files platform typically was something that you would use on your own time, but now it's actually upgraded to be something that not only you can use, but your team can use as well. You can now collaborate. And so that's pretty much the idea behind this motion workflow, a new platform which has team collaboration built in. So it's no longer just a website with a listing of animations. This is now something that you can use as a tool, which is a big deal. Now, for our purposes, we're not going to be building anything custom. So let us go into my dashboard just to see how it looks on the inside. And we're just going to use one of these simple animations to test out how we use it on the site. So let's go to this age-old pharmacy animation. We see that things have changed, we know. And we're going to see a little tooltip kind of guiding us on how we can use our animation now. So let's go to the animation, and you notice that the options have changed for your animation. But we just want to see it in our site. Now to do that, you can go to this embed menu here and just move my little click up, hand off an embed, and that will allow you to create an asset link. And if you've been using it on your websites before, whether it's Elementor plugin or you're using Webflow, you can get the asset link from here. But notice what has changed. Your asset link no longer lasts forever. You now need to get the asset link from here where it says asset link, but it will expire within 24 hours. So this one expires tomorrow. That's the biggest change. Right now, your assets are only temporary. So there are a couple ways to actually deal with this when you're putting it on your website. And we're gonna look at all of the ways today. So let's head over now. We found the animation, we're happy. We're gonna jump over to Wix and see how to add it to our site in minutes. Now to do that, we're gonna use a little shortcut called editorx.new. That will create for us a new editorx site immediately in our account. And we're gonna see how we can use this now to create a new animation. And this is already very interesting, right? Because you're used to Lottie Files just giving you a link that you can share with your friends. But now, either you host it with them by paying, which is a pretty fair trade-off. They have servers to pay for, you know? Or you have the option of downloading and using it yourself. And that's what we're gonna look into today. So option number one, use the asset link. This is a regular editorx site. We're just gonna add a Lottie element to it, just as we would before. And we're gonna use the asset link as it exists. So we're gonna go to embed, Lottie animation. We're gonna drag that onto the screen, change the animation. And we're gonna paste our new asset link. How we know it's an asset link is that it gives you a JSON file. So if we actually open this in a new tab, we should get a valid JSON file and not an error. And that is what we're seeing here. So once we hit enter, boom, our pharmacy animation is up and running. So asset links still work the same way. The domain is a little different, but the link works the same way. So we're good, right? Well, what if you didn't want to use the asset link anymore because you can't go in and pay each time? Or you don't really want to be refreshing the link every 24 hours. I mean, that wouldn't be feasible for your website. Well, the Lottie element from Wix actually gives you a nice second way of loading an animation using the JSON itself. So what we're going to do is load that JSON file into our Lottie element without using the asset link. So to do that, we're going to demo it by resetting our animation. So let's delete this. We're going to add another Lottie animation. So you see it has the default animation running here. Then we're going to go into dev mode, which will allow us to add code to interact with our element. So let's turn on dev mode. Get into the code side of things, the fun side of things. This is where all the amazing interactions happen. And we're going to add it to our element by targeting that element by its ID. So you can use the shorthand Lottie embed and it will auto fill your code. You're going to do .source, which will allow you to set the source for the file of the animation. But instead of using a URL, which is of course one option, we're going to instead use the JSON file we just opened. So we're going to copy everything. We're going to save it as a JSON object, which we can do right here. And we have our JSON object. It's valid. We don't see any error there. So we're going to use JSON. And so when we preview, what we should see when the page loads is the animation loading up right now. There we go. So we have our new animation loaded into the site. Now, those are the two ways you can load your animation, either directly through the JSON or through the URL. And it can get even more detailed than that. Say you want to have a database of animations. In Wix, you can create a collection with JSON objects and it will collect everything there. Or say you want to actually host it yourself and put it on your own server. You can also do that. Once you provide a valid JSON file at the URL, you will be able to load it into your animation. Pretty simple, right? The more things change, the more they remain the same. And just like that, bing, bang, boom, you now have the new way of adding a Lottie animation to your Wix website. You can of course use the asset link method, or you can now store the JSON and set it on the object itself so that you can edit your animation anytime. The benefit being that will never expire. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more Lottie and Wix content, feel free to subscribe so that we can see more like this. Thank you.